welcome. It's
Thank you.
really beautiful to share this space with you. We've been friends for quite some time now, and I'll never forget the first time I met you and we hugged, and my heart exploded. And ever since then, every hug we share is just amazing. And I don't think I'm the only person. Well, I know I'm not the only person that has that experience with you because I've heard from so many of our friends. It's just like, man, have you hugged Sierra? I'm like, yeah, I've hugged Sierra. It's insane.
My heart. You know,
um,
you're the first person that I ever hugged that mirror reflection was like magnified. So I can speak to yours as well and say that that was the first time I'd ever hugged somebody and been so stimulated in such a beautiful mirror way.
it was insane, man. And then that just led to, man, a beautiful few days together. It was just unreal. Um, but excited to drop in with you. It's been a while since we've been able to kind of sit down together uh, and really go deep, and find out what's going on in each other's lives and really just learn from each other and teach each other and feel each other and see each other. And so it's so exciting to be here with you. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I share the sentiment. I'm really excited to be here. And it's been 3 years of integration and kind of moving on our own paths. And so it's so lovely to connect and cross again and share and see and
Yeah.
all the good things.
Yeah. Let's see what we can get into. Um, so before I kind of go into like your life's journey, can you just take me through like your world right now? Like, what are you up to? What are you excited about? What are you challenged by? Like, what comes up for you?
That's a really great question. I will start with saying that this past year has been one of the most settling years of my life, has been the most settling year of my life. It's been such a deep year of integration and inner reflection. And so stillness is kind of my priority at the moment. And the really beautiful thing about creating space for that, which felt very contradictory to what I wanted to do, which was continue to build a business, move forward, treat clients, help, be of service by actually taking quite a bit of space. It's been a little over a year now to really deeply go inward. The forward momentum and the expansion is so much more clear and sharp and easy. So I'm kind of in the process right now of getting a new business launched and up and going, but instead of kind of running with it full speed ahead, I'm just waiting and listening and taking action when it's time. And it's been really beautiful to watch the patterns and to see when the answers arrive instead of what felt like before was a fish swimming upstream trying to force everything.
Mm.
And so, yeah, learning to listen, creating a lot more internal space. And yeah, what am I excited about?
Mm.
Relationally connecting with people.
Yeah.
After going inward for so long and always prioritizing relationships, it was such a foreign thing to me to like shut everything out, um, and to go in and kind of, if you will, cut off relationships that needed to be cut off and allow relationships to sit in I'd never done this before, but in a period of, I guess you could call it stagnancy, or where it's like hitting the pause button. What I recognized in the last year is I had a lot of relationships in my life where 7 years could go by and you jump back in, and it's like you didn't miss a beat. And I had a lot of relationships with a lot of expectations that it kind of felt like a push and pull. And so by deeply going inward, I was able to create a lot of clarity for discernment.
That's
And
cool. That's cool. It's like, yeah, what comes up for me, I can definitely relate to that a lot. Um, it's really beautiful to create space for self, uh, to go in. And I'm not saying this has been your experience, but for me, like what comes up as you were talking was like before I like could really kind of find my way and like commit to others, especially Cat, like before I could like really commit to Cat and like serve Cat in the most like beautiful, loving way without losing myself. I had to like really focus on self and go deep within myself until I was super solid. And then that allowed me to like I can give it all now. You know what I mean? I can give it all and not lose anything, and it feels great. I can give it all to friends. I can give it all to Kat, um, and still feel just like super solid within um, my morals, my feelings, like what I know to be true. Um, and so, yeah,
That's so beautiful. I hear that to my core. I think before there was this, what I recognized in myself was this to keep everything good and safe, there was like a control that was at play. And by recognizing that pattern and what I like to call like the ugly mirror,
mm.
you know, it's like looking in that ugly mirror so many times and being like, oh gosh,
Yeah,
humility and I guess like disidentification with the ego and non-attachment became more important to me than any identity that I had like created and tried to protect. And it's so funny how people want to, you know, cling and grab onto that.
yeah,
You let it go, everything just becomes so much more simple,
yeah. I mean,
relationally and internally.
yeah, like us included, right? It's like that's how it becomes funny. It becomes funny because like we've been down that road, and then you get to the point where you laugh at it, like, wow, what a silly road, dude. But a very like necessary road. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because without like going down that road, you can't laugh at it, and it's nice to
Well, and
laugh
then
at it.
it's not a lived experience, it's just a mental concept. So it's
Yeah,
easier to bring it to light when you've been in the hardship.
yeah, for sure. Um, Tell me more about this business that you're allowing and not pushing, like in the past.
Yeah, so it's shifting and kind of changing as I'm allowing the people and connections to find me and kind of speak their needs.
Hmm.
So what I learned in my business before, it was a holistic health business that would kind of integrate many different modalities. And it had a heavy focus on spiritual integration. And then I spent a year spiritually integrating, and I don't think we're ever done spiritually integrating. That's a lifelong journey for sure. But I spent like a deep year in that and had been asking some really deep questions, big questions like, all right, God, you know, what did you put me here for? What are we doing? How am I best helping people? Knowing within my body that there is like a deep, lasting way that people could come to healing within themselves and also getting so fed up with people outsourcing their wellness and with people and even myself seeking answers and then feeling like every time you loop around and you think you're getting closer, you just re-enter that loop of more seeking. And so the answers that I was receiving in this like integration period were so deep and so simple that it took even me and myself a long time to allow that truth to integrate in my body. And then what started to happen was I was having really wild spiritual experiences. And then my physical health started to heal without any intervention. So I went from literally throwing the kitchen sink at my body to heal my dysfunction
Mm-hmm.
to then being like, actually, what if we take everything away and then fix the foundation and help people integrate and provide education? In the holistic business I was running before, I was just constantly talking to my clients, asking them really deep questions, kind of like doing some really deep diving and then giving them recommendations based on my lived experience. And then they all started to get better and heal,
Mm-hmm.
but it's all foundational. And what frustrated me in providing like services and therapies and interventions for people who wanted to keep identifying with their illness and or staying there because they don't know otherwise is that without integration and education nothing's changing. And so in the new business that I'm like allowing to unfold, it has a heavy emphasis on root cause healing, like foundational wellness. Most of it is heavily impacted by people's patterns and their behaviors, their diet, sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
It's all so basic. When I ask God, like, how do people heal in a lasting way? It's called radical responsibility.
Yeah, yeah.
And most people are unfamiliar with what that even means, or it's like a daunting thing to think about. And I think I have a really great way of explaining things simply and helping people integrate them slowly over time so it doesn't feel burdensome and it feels manageable. And so, yeah, it's gonna be wellness coaching based, but also integrating some therapies and modalities that have helped me and many others tremendously to return to a more vital self.
Yeah, like a couple of things come up for me as you're talking. It's like, a lot of people, including myself at a point, just wanted the answer. Like, just give me the answer, dude. Or just like give me the antidote or give me the medicine or give me something to fix this.
Magic pill.
Yeah, dude, just give me the magic pill, bro. I'll take it and everything will be cool. But ultimately, that's not what we're here for. And again, like these pills, they're a recent creation. And for a
Right.
long time, we were healing without any of that shit. And the other thing that comes up for me is like not realizing our power, you know, outsourcing our power. You mentioned pretty much those exact words, right? Like outsourcing our power to whether it's a pill or whether it's a person or whatever it is. I tell people all the time, like, be wary of any teacher that thinks they're the answer. Like, be wary of any teacher that tells you what to believe in. Be wary of anyone that's telling you like, I know, because like ultimately, like, none of us know, dude.
None of us know it's
Yeah,
experience
yeah,
perspective.
none of us know, dude. So like, let's explore together, right? And let's see what we can do together because I mean, I enjoy walking with someone by my side. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy walking by myself sometimes, but man, to have a community of people that I can bounce ideas off that can like build energy pyramids with me. That's what I call like when we're talking, like, and we just keep like not one upping each other, but kind of like adding like
Adding.
energy. Yeah, like adding energy, like just build this epic
Uh-huh.
energy pyramid. It's like let's do that together, right? And like let's see what comes from that. And what I've found is the most amazing things come from that. And things that you never could have thought of or read in a book or anything like that. And so it's really beautiful to hear what you're doing and what you're focused on. And I'm excited to hear more about that. I'm excited to connect you and Kat. I've had that in my heart for a while now. I just feel that you both have a lot for each other. And so I'm going to make that happen after this episode for sure.
Looking forward to that
Yeah,
very
dude,
much.
100%, dude. Um, and so, like, when you look back at your life, now shifting to kind of like how you got to where you are today, like, what moments or experiences would you say like most shaped your awakening and your like transformation? I know it's a pretty broad question, but like, what immediately comes out for you?
Hmm. That is such a good question. And I want to feel into my body for a minute because it's layered. And in the integration period that I've been in for this past year, I've thought about this question within my own internal musings a lot because I think that everything is so intentional. And if we are willing to like look at that and see the patterns, you can almost like beautiful confirmation throughout your life that you've always been exactly where you're supposed to be. Um, Spiritual journey wise, like what has been most impactful to me was this recent past year in March. I was sitting in meditation daily every single morning and making that like a routine and devoting a lot of time to it because I had been following the medicine path for a few years, helping people kind of like clear what I like to call just like outdated program, outdated patterns, kind of shed the stuff to make room for new. And what it felt like was happening to me was I was grounded in the self and I had spent 3 years like integrating in the self and patterning energy. And so in that patterning process, very quickly I was able to discern, is this external? Is this internal?
Mhm.
Am I thinking this up? Is this like kind of dropping in? And I'd been doing that for quite some time to know when it's like outside influence coming in or if it's something I'm using up in myself. And I felt like I was being attacked externally. And I know it sounds silly, and it wasn't anything that I was afraid of because I've seen too much in life. Um, but one day I threw my arms in the air and I looked up and I said, God, help me. It feels like interference, is what I screamed into the air. And I just took a walk in the neighborhood and, sat thinking, like, what is this? Like, why do I internally feel like I'm in chaos all the time, even though I have what most people would consider to be like a very, very great routine in life and a way of handling stress. And I wasn't even working. So, I didn't have many stressors externally that should have been upsetting me.
Yeah.
And 2 days later, I was sitting outside by my swimming pool doing a meditation, and I had a supernatural encounter with Jesus Christ. And he came to me and filled my like life, my heart with so much peace. I had never ever in this human experience had that much love come over my body and through my body. And the most wild thing about it is that I'd been on the medicine path for years and, been learning about like Kundalini awakenings and all these things in New Age spirituality. And I was like, it felt like literally washed from the inside, my entire body. And when I woke up the next morning, my heart was just new. My desires were new. Everything that I saw was new. It was like I had been given a new pair of eyes and a new heart and a new everything that it took me honestly like 4 months of like, what in the world just happened to me to be able to flip myself in any kind of orientation at all. And I started reading the Bible. And when I started to read the Bible, it came through my body like the deepest truth. I've read a lot of philosophical texts and,
Mhm.
been studying everything in this medicine space for years and years and years, and had read a lot of really beautiful things and things that I wanted to be true, things that aligned with my belief system.
Yeah.
If you told me a year ago I'd be sitting here talking about Jesus, I would have laughed at you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah, it was the most profound spiritual experience that I've had. And I've had many, many, many of them throughout my entire life, been very like sensitive in that way.
Hmm.
Um, I grew up Catholic, straight away from the church, like very far away from it, integrating myself spiritually for many years and never saw that I would land back here. And I would say that in seeking those really deep, deep questions, like asking, why are we here? What is the purpose of this? And then having my medicine space journey for several years where I was very much in that kind of spiritual world. What people are looking for, in my humble opinion, is Jesus, is that love, that peace, that all encompassing, you are safe, you are well, you are
Hmm.
exactly where you are supposed to be. And in the disconnection from that is where all suffering is created. And for me, that was such a simple truth of like, oh, okay, now everything else makes sense. And I understand
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
people choose suffering, where when I was helping people through that process before, I don't want to say so much judgment was there, but like a wondering of like, why are you choosing this? Where now that's filled with so much compassion and understanding.
Hmm.
Yeah, just so much grace, compassion, understanding, and like forward momentum to want to help people integrate to understanding.
It's really like crazy for me to hear this, and not because of what you think I'm going to say. Uh, and I'm assuming what you think I'm going to say, but I've been waiting for this moment, patiently waiting for this moment for the last 2 years. And I'll tell you why.
Really?
So the experience that you had, I had the exact same experience without Jesus Christ as the center. And so I haven't shared this with you yet. So I've been waiting, very patiently waiting for someone to understand this experience that I've had, and no one understands it. I've shared it with people, but you can just tell they do not understand it. So I went to Dispenza retreat in Cartagena, right in Colombia. And so I'm there the first day, and I had expectations with me. I could feel the expectations, right? Like, what am I going to get out of this? I spent all this money, so on and so forth, right? And that led to like a first day of like trying really hard, right? And so like the first day was like 3 meditations. Each meditation was over like an hour and a half long in this like space of collective energy that's just nuts, right? The last meditation of the day, he had us feeling into like energy center number 4 and 6, or like our heart and our pineal gland. And I get like rolling, right? Like moving really, like the energy's flowing, and I can feel like this, like I want to cry, like my system, call it, I don't know what, but something wants to cry. And like my chin starts to like shake like you are before you're about to just lose it crying. And then like something stops it. Whether it was my mind, it felt like my mind was just like, no, you're not going to do this. Right. And like shut it down. And like there was a part of me, like the awareness me was just like, dude, why did you just do that, mind? Like something was about to happen there. And I don't know what it was. Anyway, so I go into meditation by myself that night in my bed and just like really embody like, hey man, like you got to drop all this shit. Like drop all this shit, dude. Just you're here, man. Just do the best you can, and that's good enough. So the next morning, we do a walk-in meditation on the beach. And the walk-in meditation is pretty much like you have like headphones on, and you're like 20 minutes standing, eyes closed, and then 20 minutes eyes open walking, then 20 minutes eyes closed, standing, 20 minutes walking, right? And the idea is like this specific meditation was again feeling into number 4 and number 6. And then can you open your eyes and walk as that? Now with your eyes open, as your senses, like with all your senses active, right? You're moving now, you're seeing now, all these things. Can you maintain that, right? So I get back into that really very quickly, like my body remembered it, went straight back into it. And then as soon as I opened my eyes and started walking, I just started bawling, crying. I mean, like 5 years old, like my mom didn't give me what I want, bawling, crying, dude, like in the most loving, beautiful way ever. Like these were tears of just like ecstatic joy, bliss. I mean, I can't explain it. It's impossible to explain. And all the while, like I'm just observing this happening. And the only way I can explain it, if I had to try, is like I embodied and became and realized like what I am, who I am. I am God. I am a piece of this. And like there is no separation. There's no more other. There was no more self. There was none of this. Like everything that I saw, everything that I felt was me. And it was insane. And so I cried for 45 minutes straight, by the way, right? Like nonstop, to the point where like I came down to my knees in the sand, pounding the sand. Like my stomach was like convulsing, like my second energy center was just going nuts. And so I awaken out of this after a while, and like I'm anew, like exactly what you said, dude. Like I'm anew. Like I didn't know how to explain it. It was the first time I'd experienced like a 24-hour segment of my life completely in my heart. Like nothing else existed. Nothing else existed. And it was the most insane thing I've ever experienced. I haven't experienced that extension of consistent moments since. I've experienced that again. I'll tell you this in a second. But my life completely changed since then. And what I mean by that is like, call it like, so I've spoken to a few people about this, and a lot of people brought up like Kundalini and like Kundalini awakening and stuff like this. And so I don't desire to give it a definition. All I know is this: my heart is open and has not closed since, in a way that like I never knew was possible. So now
Right.
every time I give awareness to my heart, my body just lights up. I get goosebumps all over my body instantaneously. Like right now, I have goosebumps all over my body. And it feels like energy is just like radiating from my heart throughout my entire body. Yeah, just
Like
banging, dude,
popping.
banging.
Yeah.
And like if I breathe into it, I can just elevate that shit so much, bro. Like I'm connected to like the air around me, and I can push it out and I can give it to people. I can do whatever I want with it. It's nuts. And so like at first when I had this experience, I was like, oh, like, all right, like, oh, we'll see what happens. But then like it never left. Like every day I would check in, like, is it still there? Yep, it's still there. And like this has been years now, right? And so like, and again, I've been patiently waiting, dude, to like talk to someone that understands what I'm talking about. And it's super cool to have this conversation with you right now. And you're telling
You
me
can
what's,
see my mind joy.
dude, it's insane, man. It's so cool to hear you say this. And so it's super cool. I am very excited for you. I'm overjoyed. that you've had that experience. I'm now even more overjoyed that like I am able to connect with someone on this experience. And I would like to share my perspective, which again is humble, is like this. Again, this isn't enlightenment. This isn't the end of the journey. This is just a point along the journey
Mhm.
that goes deeper and deeper. I think, anyone that thinks that, oh, there is a destination to this journey is, I don't want to say wrong because there is no right or wrong, but ultimately what I've
Right.
found in my experience is just like, man, there's infinite awareness to be had within this lifetime. And I feel
Forever
that,
and ever.
correct. And I feel that there are many doorways into this space. So whether it is Jesus Christ for you, or whether it is, I don't even have, I haven't given it a label for me yet. I don't know what it was for me. Um, and I've spoken to other people that, have again found certain places or experiences in their life that they feel super connected now. And for them, it was a different route. And it's just really beautiful to inhabit a space with people that continue to deepen their, or like grow their spiritual mass in a way, um and know that it's okay, meaning that it's okay how you got there. It doesn't matter how you got there. And when I say it doesn't matter, for you it does, and for me it does, and for another individual it does, and that's beautiful. But what I've realized is the goal isn't for me how we got there. It's just like, okay, now I have this light, let me share it. Like, let me
Right.
just share this light, right? And not to receive something back, and not to have people be like, oh my god, look at your light. But just to share it, because it, like, that's the only thing that I desire to do now, which is super interesting. It feels like it's just the part of the path, which is like, oh, like, that's all I want to do. All I want to do now is serve through my light, not help, because I can't help you. You're the only one that can help you, but just serve through my light and kind of see what happens. But dude, I'm so pumped I got to share that with you, and I'm so pumped to hear your story. It's insane.
I'm seriously overjoyed with it. And it's been the same for me, which has also been a funny part of integration is like before I had all these things I wanted to do, like I had
Hmm.
a whole agenda for my life. And then it was like that it's gone. And the only thing I care about now is like just showing up relationally in love with people and being happy. And I think that's literally the only thing that matters.
Agreed.
And it's
Agreed.
it's such a wild thing for somebody to realize like, oh, I'm the root of all my suffering and I'm the solution to all of my suffering. And what you're describing with Joe Dispenza from the fourth and sixth energy center, it's heart space up. You're actually
Hmm.
opening this pathway. I mean, I've been saying this to Kelly forever. Use whatever language you want to use to call
Hmm.
it. People
100%.
are either contracted or expanded. Their heart's closed or their heart's open. And when it becomes more important to embody humility and peace, your heart's going to open. It's just going to happen.
100%.
Oh, it's so
100%.
it's so nice to hear someone else's language to this process because
Agreed. That's how I felt. Like, as you're talking, I'm just like, wow, this is so cool to hear you express this experience that I had. It's like, this is nuts. Like,
it's
this
so
is so
good.
cool. Yeah, it's so good. Um, and it's like, it was just another experience that deepened the knowing of not knowing. It was also like another experience that deepened the knowing of just like, this is endless. Like, whatever I think I know, it's beautiful. Like, keep it, for sure, keep it, but stay open. Like, don't ever like stop seeking, right?
Right.
Like, I think this idea that like I have arrived now, or this idea that like I shouldn't be seeking, like, I think there's so many like spiritual like black holes, meaning like people take certain like texts, or people take like certain like spiritual quotes, and they turn them into this thing where it's just like, oh, like I don't have to seek anymore, right? Meaning like, and when I say seek, I don't mean seek for something more than yourself. That's not what I'm saying,
Mhm.
right? I'm not saying create distance from where you currently are to where you want to be. It's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that I feel that there is this innate seeking in all of us, the same seeking that led you to that experience, right?
Right.
And so we seek that, we trust that feeling, right? We come to a point in our life where we've suffered enough. And we're like, dude, fuck this. Like, let me just try this new thing, right? And that's that seeking impulse being like, that's God inside of us, the universe inside of us,
Guiding you. Right.
whatever you want to call it whatever you want, inside of us, pushing us in a direction, allowing us to continue seeking. I feel like a lot of people, when they have certain experiences like this, it's like, oh, I don't have to seek anymore. And it's like, well, if you would have said that before this experience, you never would have had that experience. And so what makes you think like there's not another experience? What makes you think there's not infinite experience, awareness, wisdom
Right.
out there for us, right? And that doesn't mean we don't honor what's already here. Of course we do, man, deeply, dude. And that is probably what's going to help us and propel us to that next like
Right.
eye-opening experience, right? But this idea of using certain really like deep spiritual teachings, right? Like uh you're perfect as you are. Yes, you are perfect as you are. Of course, we're all worthy, infinitely worthy, but we are having this human
And
experience.
also,
Correct, right? It's like we're having this human experience, and in this human experience, there's infinite experiences and possibilities. And it's not about becoming more. That's the illusion. It's not about becoming more. This experience wasn't about me becoming more. It was about me realizing what I already was, man.
integrating more. It's
Yes.
just integrating the experience itself. And I think that the reason why people have a hard time with this is because the feelings that come along with it. And most people are a lot of people are dissociated from their feelings.
Yeah.
And most people are only comfortable holding a certain amount of feeling space before they close back up. And
Yes.
so it requires constant opening. When I first had my experience, there was probably a 2-month period of time where I literally went like this. I couldn't receive any more truth. I need to integrate what I got.
I yelled too loud. I asked you for too much. Please stop.
Literally, yeah. All of it at once. Okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks, man. I didn't know it was going to be like that.
Right.
Yeah, that's insane. Oh,
And so I
wow.
think it's important for people to be like, introspective and extrospective, where you're applying here and then you're taking it out and you're integrating it in the world.
Hmm.
And then you go back in and you apply what you're learning and you take it back out in the world. When that's not happening and people get stuck in one or the other, they're
Mm.
either seeking too much and they're not integrating it, or they're contracted and they're not even open to a new perspective,
Hmm.
which both places are not helpful. But we
Agreed.
oscillate between, the two.
Yeah, the way that comes through for me is like the moments in my life where I've just like all I was focused on was like concepts and ideas and theories and just going hard into the paint with that, but then
Yeah.
not applying it and embodying it, right? Which is so important to embody it, because without embodying it, it's just a concept and you don't really know how true it is to you yet,
Because
right?
it's not in the body truth,
Correct.
mental. Oh, that
Exactly.
seems true. Yeah.
Yes. And that's another trap, dude, that a lot of people fall into. And I've fallen into it many times. I'm sure I'll probably fall into it again, man. I'm open to that
Yeah.
possibility, right? But it's like, too much into the mind or too much into the body. Again, both traps in a way. And when I say too much into the body, what I mean is just going out there and
Present.
like, yeah, like the idea of like talking to someone like, yeah, man, I've done like my 12th ayahuasca experience of the year. And I'm like, bro, what? Like, what? What do you mean, dude? Something like that, right? And again, not making fun of people, but it's just like, dude, that's a lot without much integration.
Right.
And there's many other experiences I could talk about, but yeah, I think again, the word balance comes to mind.
Yeah,
And
I want to interrupt you because this little exercise that somebody shared with me last year was the game changer. It was like the one little piece of the puzzle that somebody put in place that like shifted my framework was I was cleaning through the house, and I grew up with a mom who was very type A and very much like to-do list, task, 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 task. And so I learned how to clean from her. And
nice.
it looked a certain way on the outside. On the inside, I'm jamming, I'm moving quick, I'm moving around. But people would be like, whoa, that's palpable. She's like, she's on a mission.
Yeah.
Just move out of her way. And I was like, one day reflecting, like, oh man, I cleared a room. Like, I hope they know they can be in here when I'm cleaning. Anyway, he said to me, are you cleaning from your head or are you cleaning from your heart?
Mm.
And I was like, whoa. I had never even considered, where is my internal energy being driven from when I'm moving around, whether it's working on the phone, on calls, Like I would talk to people trying to get stuff done, like calling for a bill or something, and you're just like, oh, hi, this is who I am. This is what I need, instead of being a human to another human, which requires us to
Mm,
open our heart. And so I literally would imagine pulling like threads or light, imagine it however you want, from your head down back into the body through the heart and then expressing. When I did this, what I noticed is it just constantly pulls you into the present moment. And now you're also palpably feeling what you're creating, the energy that you're rippling now, but also what's like being received around you. And when I did that, I was like, ugly mirror, ugly mirror, ugly mirror,
mm,
ugly.
mm.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. More integration. It was incredibly helpful.
I appreciate you sharing that. What after I had that experience in Colombia, I like my mind wanted to understand it, obviously, as the mind always does, right? Um, and I knew that, any understanding I came to was just going to be perspective based. But I was like, all right, like let's go down this road of like deepening understanding, right? And seeing what comes up. And so I went down the heart math route. Have you heard of heart math?
Yeah.
Cool. And so ended up becoming like a certified trainer in heart math and just like learning as much as I possibly could about the heart, because I was like, all right, dude, my heart's talking to me. Like, let me find out more about you, dude. Like, what are you
Mhm.
doing down there?
I'm listening, man.
Yeah, like what are you doing in there? I just thought you were pumping blood, but you're obviously doing much more than that. Like, what are you doing? And during that training, something was said that like really stuck with me, and it stuck with me ever since. And it's like creating a heartful mind and a mindful heart, right?
Mm.
And what that meant to me was, instead of, for a long time, I was going to my mind for answers, right? Because that's logically where people go. It's like, oh, like that holds information. Let me go up there. But dude,
We can go see.
your heart holds information, man. And we were never taught this, right?
Wow.
Like your heart has neurons just like your brain. Your heart learns just like your brain. You have heart cells in your brain so they can communicate.
Mhm.
Um, and your heart communicates with your brain much more than your brain communicates with your heart, which is insane. And so what that meant for me was like, all right, instead of trying to reprogram through my mind, instead of trying to operate daily through my mind, how about I just operate through my heart and let my heart control my mind? Like just let my heart take care of my mind, because if I have a heartful mind, sick, dude. Like everything that comes out of my mind is going to be like fueled through my heart. Like, wow, dude, that's amazing.
Lovely.
Yeah, like lovely, dude. Thank you. And so it just simplified life so much, dude. And that's been like a big uh it's been a big thing for me throughout my entire journey, is like simplification. And it's not something that I thought up, was like, oh, how do I simplify this? But as I continued on my path, it just became simpler and simpler, right?
Yeah,
um
relate.
yeah, like I remember like my first simple like awakening moment was just like, oh, like I just have to focus on my intention. That's it. Like nothing else matters. I don't have to think about anything else besides my intention. All right. Well, wow, that's cool. And don't judge myself about anything that comes out of that intention. All right, cool, sweet.
Sweet.
Yeah, right. And then this came up, the heartful mind, mindful heart, and it was like perfect timing, as everything is in life. And it really just changed. It changed everything. And so now, when anything is happening, when I first wake up in the morning, if I find myself in like a challenging moment of frustration or whatever it is, it's like, oh, I know where I'm going. I'm going straight into my heart, and I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to go to my heart and let it take care of it for me. Right. Um, and I think there's something really powerful in that. Right. So you said Jesus Christ, right? There's something really powerful in saying, hey, dude, you take care of it.
Mhm.
I have complete trust and faith in you. For me, it's my
Yeah.
heart. Right.
Surrender. Yeah.
Correct. Right. And it could be anything. What is it for you? And it's beautiful to be open to what it is for you. And so it's super cool to hear that, man. And I just wanted to share that with you, because it's like these like little nuggets that we receive in life at the most perfect time are just so amazing. And it's another beautiful thing about like creating this space, not only this space between me and you, but for people that hear this, if they do hear this, like little nuggets, man,
Yeah.
that could change everything.
You're just
Um,
watering the seeds.
yeah, dude, just shining the light, man, and seeing what happens. Um, wow. So something that you said, so you mentioned Kelly, right? And I love Kelly. And Kelly is your beautiful partner that you've been with for a long time now. And so that's a beautiful opportunity to ask you a question that I can't really ask most people that haven't been in a beautiful, loving relationship and experience the things that you've experienced. And so it's like, what, and this is from really deep within my experience as well, as I mentioned earlier. But like, what are some lessons that you've learned about loving another person without losing yourself?
Oh, that's such a beautiful question. I think the first thing really, like it took me a very long time to learn to ground myself in my own nervous system first and to
Mm,
check in first. And so I think like no matter what relationship you're in, whether it's with your sister or your cat or your best friend, when you're not regulating the self and then interacting, it's not coming from an authentic place.
mm,
And so when I started to pattern that energy in my mind of like, okay, am I moving from my mind or my heart? I was honestly so thrown back at how many times, even though my intention would be to move from love, my mind was not matching that. And so, just by recognizing how much I was pulling myself out of my center, you know, a little to the left, a little to the right, that process naturally cleaned itself up. I guess what I can say is that when you're trying to move from the heart, all it asks of you is to be present and to just like be. There's nothing you need to do. And I think so much of what gets a little flipped around in any relationship is that there's something you need to do and something you need to resolve or something you need to solve,
mm,
which was a little bit of the negative polarity of my patterns. And so I think the rebalancing is to understand where your energy constantly wants to go and then just witnessing it. And just by doing that, I was like, oh, I was creating a lot of little, you know, problems all the way around for anybody and everybody. And so I think it's important when you actually love somebody to recognize that love is not conditional.
mm, mm.
And you can say, oh, I love you, but if you do this,
Yeah,
then, you know, that's not love.
yeah.
That's actually like a sort of illusion that you might be labeling as love. And so to keep like returning to love means to keep dumping yourself out and holding presence and witnessing and not asking honestly anything of that person to do, to be, to change. And with Kelly, it's been so easy. He's like the easiest person in the world for me to love somehow.
Mm,
You know, like he
yeah.
could do anything. And I would be like, well, all right, we're going to move, pivot, learn, or whatever, integrate all of it. And it's all well here.
It like there's a part of me that's like laughing. It's like we created extra terms for love. Like, oh, there's unconditional love also. It's like, dude, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, love is unconditional. Like, we have to like create this word now. Like, what are you talking about? I was just cracking up when I think about that. But like, tell me, because I know what it is for me, but like, tell me what that physically looks like for you. Meaning that when you're like, all right, time to like get into my heart
Mm-hmm.
and lead from there. Like, what does that look like in the physical world for you? What do you
Mm-hmm.
do?
Yeah, it definitely a case by case thing. Something that I do now all the time is just like understand I use this kind of like point in my body, like imagine right here is neutral point, and
Mm-hmm.
like from presence, there's zero, there's nothing I don't need. I don't there, I'm just good here. Anything that is asking me to pull into the lower energy centers, like where if I feel my energy literally move from my heart and dip down below, and it's palpable, I feel it when it happens now.
Mm-hmm.
I automatically have that like programmed as not true.
Mm-hmm.
So, like anything that's in negative polarity, yes, it's an experience.
Mm.
I like to call it the downward spiral. It's just not inherently true. All good things come from God. So,
Mm.
anything that's positively expressed, expansive, or positively polarized, I know it's true and it comes from God, right? If I
Mm-hmm.
don't have to worry about anything and everything's taken care of,
Mm-hmm.
for me, I can trust this feeling, and anything that is trying to yank and pull is not true. And so it like kind of, it was a practice at first and now it's just kind of like an automatic bypass. And so what I'll do is just like take a breath if I need to, or remove myself if I need to
Mm-hmm.
regulate my
Mm-hmm.
body to not, it became so loud to me, the ripples that were going out, that if I even remotely feel a tiny change within, I'll either remove myself or even immediately be like, I'm wrong right now. And I know that. Like,
Mm.
I'm triggered right now, or I'm feeling some type of way, and I'm going to take a step. Where before I had poor Kelly, 4 years of chaos. He's been through a lot with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never heard anyone explain what I refer to as like the emotional guidance system in the way you just like said it.
Okay.
It was really cool. So that's something that came into my life pretty much like at very close to the beginning of like what I would say like was my like awakening or awareness. And it came through a teacher, and they taught it as like the emotional guidance system. I was like, trusting your emotions, right? And pretty much exactly what you said. Like anything that like inherently doesn't feel good is just not true. It's just not true. And anything that does is true. Now, that comes with a caveat, right? Because you need to be able to have the awareness to understand that when the ego gets what it wants, on the surface, it may feel what you think is good, but
True.
it's
Yeah.
actually not. Like if you kind of just go one layer lower, it feels like shit, right?
This
It
is
does
why
not feel good.
discernment is so good when you
Yes,
recognize the energy of control. Because I think what you're describing there is the want to control the thing, which gives you the outcome that you want, which feels good for a second, then
correct.
kind of pulls you back into that negative expression. Yeah.
Correct. That's where a lot of people get lost. And like, what do you mean? Like, it does feel good when like I get my way, and I'm like, does it really though? Like, yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
More space for feelings, maybe.
yeah, right. And so, yeah, really cool way of explaining the emotional guidance system, and really cool how you came to that within yourself. Um, I I finish these episodes with three questions that everyone gets, right? And so, first question is, what personal practice has been the most transformative for you?
Mm, that is a really, really good question. And I've actually thought about this one a lot on my own because I was such an intervention junkie before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm going to be honest and say that I really do owe credit to a person named Marcel for telling me, like, are you moving from your head or from your heart? And when you understand, again, where your energy wants to go, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a practice at first, if even I say where your energy wants to go and that doesn't land for you, just like sit with yourself. If that's uncomfortable for you, your energy is probably all over the place. If you feel it literally like, oh, my mind's wanting to sweep and my mind's wanting to do my dishes, like that's where your energy wants to go. So when you keep sitting with that and patterning it in your body, it becomes very easy in the moments of presence to understand where you're leading, whether it's positive, negative, you're
Mm-hmm.
contributing in a good way or maybe not in a good way. And it
Mm-hmm.
becomes easier to clean up your act.
Agreed. I can definitely resonate with that. Um, how do you stay open and loving when the world can sometimes feel heavy and cruel?
Hmm. This is another really good one. I owe credit to God, like honestly, because when I was swimming around in New Age spirituality, what it did for me, and I'm going to be like really vulnerable and honest here, is that
Please.
like even though I could be loving and people felt safe around me and people like hugging me and all the things, I still internally didn't feel that way. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It might have expressed externally. So like I think I owe honestly God a lot for giving me the heart that he gave me is that I'm just like by nature very compassionate person. I just love everybody so much
Hmm.
that in the pain I've experienced in life and it's been a lifetime full of it, I know what that feels like, so why would I want another person to have that ripple?
Hmm.
But it doesn't mean that I haven't unconsciously done that to people. And so
Mm-hmm.
I think when you understand that whether you want to or not, you're hurting people.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly said to me one day, I was joking with him and I said, who hurt you? And he goes, everyone. And I was like, oh, which is true, right?
Hmm.
Every single person in your life is going to hurt you, whether they mean to or not. And so if you understand that, then it's just easier to have grace. It's getting really loud here because the hail's coming down outside.
Oh, really? Nice. It's nice
Um,
and oh, it's kind of sunny here. It's really, yeah. I guess it's probably coming towards us.
it's coming for you
It's coming
next.
for us. Yeah, it's coming for us. Um, and so before I ask you the next question, I just want to say thank you, thank you for trusting your seeking. Thank you for trusting your experience, and for continuing to stay open to receive what you have received, and even though what you experienced was contrary to your previous beliefs, And I'm sure that was a whole journey on itself, dude. You know what I mean? Thank you for sharing it, right? There's some people that I'm sure you share this with that they're just like, oh, dude, like, what are you talking about? Jesus or like God and stuff like this. And it's just like people are just so identified with their belief system and unable to be open to the fact that this is an infinite universe, dude, with like infinite energy, with like infinite things going on, dude. And like,
Right.
if you cannot be happy and support someone who is obviously like doing the best they can to like find themselves and share their light and be of service, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter like what their belief system is if that is their intention and is if that is where their heart is and what they're sharing, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter at all. And like, I just want to say, like, you're amazing and you're awesome for like really just being authentic and being true and being vulnerable and sharing your belief systems, not only with like everyone, but like with yourself. Like again, that transformation would have been insane, dude. I'm like imagining what that would have been like for me if that was my experience. Because it was very similar to you, right? Like I grew up in a Catholic home,
Mhm.
went to Catholic schools, like, no, thank you. But again, like it's not about Catholicism, it's not about Christianity or anything like this. It's about like what has touched you, man? Like what has been your experience? What has touched you? And if that is your source, then share it, dude. Like share your source, share your love, share your light, you know? And I just hope everyone can be open to all people, regardless of what their beliefs are. Like the last episode we did was called Love Everyone. And it's just like, dude, like, like if that's not the intention or the goal, like what is? Like
What are we doing?
what are we doing, dude? Like what, like you don't want to love everyone? Like what are we doing, you know?
I feel that
Um
way too. And the root of it really is just like attachment. And if people were able to disidentify from everything they're identified with,
yeah.
and that's another thing is like the openness really helps. And I think when you're seeking truth, the openness naturally has to be there. Otherwise, you're not finding what you're looking for. And
Hmm.
so the openness has to be there. Otherwise, you're just going to contract back in and close yourself off to the perspectives. But it's silly to go contrary to anybody's perspective. Like, how, let me humble myself and everybody who might be listening to this is that how many times have you felt one way and then a year later or 2 years later, you're like, whoa, I was
Yeah.
over there and now I'm way over there. Like, how did
Yeah.
that happen? You're like,
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
I believed this and now I believe this. So
Yes.
how can you judge another person?
Yes.
Like,
It's just so
yeah,
much easier for the uncomfortableness within us or the ego within us to not have to look in the mirror by just labeling and being like, oh dude, you're a liar, or like
right,
you've changed, or like say these things that are just like insane and crazy as if they haven't gone through the exact same journey.
right.
It's like, dude, as we have new experience, we gain new awareness. As we gain new awareness, like things change, dude. And so yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. um, Last question. If you could speak to your younger self, what loving wisdom would you like to leave in their hearts?
Mm, you're so happy. Just that you're so happy. Yeah, you talked about heart math, and that was another one of the tools that honestly kind of helped with a pivot. I did a
Mm.
heart math session with somebody, and wild enough, I actually had a very somatic experience of living like as a baby, like a fetus in my mom's belly,
Hmm.
and then kind of through some different life stages. It was such a wild experience, but what I had experienced, the feeling of myself as a kid was that I was scared. And so just like knowing, oh, you're happy, like there's nothing to be afraid of. I
Yeah.
think when more people can, it's faith over fear, right? It's literally faith over fear. When people get stuck in fear,
Preach. 100%, dude.
literally.
100%, dude. Take a pick, man. You got two options, dude.
Yes, exactly.
100%, you know?
I had been asking myself that question, like, man, when I was a little girl, when I realized like internally I still feel chaos, like,
Hmm.
why did I feel so peaceful as a kid? It was like the first question I was asking myself, why did I feel so good as a kid? And it's literally because I had faith. I had faith. You're like,
Hmm.
my dad's going to make sure I'm safe tonight. Somebody's going to put food in front of me. And if we are able to recognize that God loves us way more than our earthly parents do, then you're going to stop worrying about your problems.
Yeah, agreed. I can relate to that. for me, it comes through as like, so I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth. Like I tell people all the time, it's like, dude, faith or fear, pick one. Like, what do
Yeah.
you want, man? Like, what do
You
you want?
choose.
Yeah, just choose, dude. Just
Yeah.
choose. And just know that like whatever you choose is what you're going to experience, right?
Right.
And I understand that like at times it may be really hard to like not only choose faith but feel faith, right? And that may be for a number of reasons.
And that's
I
contrary for a reason because faith is it's not felt, it's trust, it's
mm,
belief, it's knowing that,
correct.
so people want the validation or confirmation affirmed in their body. Oh, now I have faith and I know I have it.
Exactly. Because that's how they've achieved everything else in their lives, right? Let me experience it first and then I'll tell you. Kind of like with love. Like when I was younger, I was like, all right, let me like suss you out and then I'll love you. You know what I mean? Like, let me judge you for eternity and let me like tell you like whether I trust you now and love you now. But you just did this
Right.
thing and now I don't love you
Yeah.
anymore, right? It's like insane, dude. But I get it. I did it because I
Unconditional.
was scared, right? I get it. I was scared, man. I didn't want to be hurt by another person, even though that's
Right.
an illusion also. But yeah, you said something at the end that I wanted to comment on faith, right? And so it's like, for me, it was like this deep well that I touched of like knowing that I'm good. Like, I'm completely safe. Even like if I step outside and a car hits me, okay, I'm still good. Like I'm still safe. Like death is
Right.
okay. Death is part of it, man. It's not a big deal. Like that doesn't mean that like if someone has a gun to my head, I'm not going to feel scared. No, that's not what I'm
Totally.
saying, right?
Right.
What I'm saying is though like I have complete faith that no matter what happens, it's cool. I'm content. I'm happy, bro. It's fine. Not a problem. Right. If I died today, I'm good, man. Like I'm not,
Non-attachment.
yeah, I'm not holding on to
Right.
anything, man. Like there's nothing I'm like, oh my God, I wish I did this. Or it's like, no, man, I'm good. I have faith that exactly what is supposed to happen is happening.
Mm.
Um, and
Yeah.
so faith is huge, man. Faith is huge. And I really invite people to explore their faith.
Mm.
Um, and again, like people will ask me, or like, what do you have faith in? Right. And so, obviously you have faith in God.
Hmm.
Beautiful. Right. And some people have faith in a different God, right? That they think is a different God, but really it's the same God. Um, and so like people have faith in these things. And so like I still haven't like, what do I have faith in? I just have faith. Like
Yeah.
I don't have faith in it. I just have faith, right?
And I think
And
that's the point.
that's the
Your
point,
heart's
right? That's
open, the flow.
correct. That's the point, right? It's just like I can just like we should just be able to have faith, right?
Hmm.
That like we're here and whatever's happening, even though I don't know exactly what's happening and why I'm here and why we're here and all this type of stuff, I'm just going to have faith that I am worthy and based on my worth, what feels good and loving for me is the direction I should walk in. That's what I'm going to have faith in, right?
Okay.
And I remember what it was like to not know my worth. And that was super confusing. It was impossible to have faith because then I was like, all right, this feels good, but I mean, I'm not
You're
worthy.
doing
So
this.
yeah, it's like I can't can I trust this even though it feels good for me, but I'm not worthy. Like, can I trust this? It makes no sense. And so like, man, faith or fear, pick one.
Right. And
Right?
even like for people to let themselves oscillate on it for a while, like go
Yeah,
ahead and entertain your fear and see where that's taking you.
agreed. I mean,
Entertain your faith and see where that's taking you.
like stepping into my fears gave me more faith. Right?
Right.
Like realizing that fears are the illusion. They have so
Mhm.
much power until you like remove
When
the
you give
curtain.
them power. Yes.
Correct. Correct. Right. Until you're like, wait a second, like, let me just like step into that space that's so scary. And then you step into, you're like, oh my God, there's actually nothing here. Actually,
Silly.
there's like, there's like a lot of love here and like trust here and faith here. And oh, okay, cool. This is really beautiful. Actually, I like this a lot. Now it's my new favorite thing, you know? And so like stepping into faith, allowing faith, stepping into fear, allowing fear, appreciating fear for what it is, which is like an epic teacher of polarity,
Yeah.
right? Like, you spoke about polarity earlier. It's like without the fear, do we even have faith? I don't
Yeah.
think
Can you
so.
even appreciate what it needs to feel good? Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. And so it's like, let's stop running away from fear. When I say pick one, it's not to say fear is bad.
Mhm.
It's just understanding that in every moment that you are aware and conscious, you do have a choice. You do have a
Yeah.
choice. And it may not translate to your body instantaneously. Like, okay, let me pick faith. And then all of a sudden your body's like, faith, right? I feel so good. But
Zing! Like
zing,
magic
like,
pill.
yeah, right. And that's not the case, but eventually it is the case, right? Like
Yes.
once
It's
you
like
start,
understanding how to keep holding it and fortifying it. Cause I would
correct.
skip, I'd be like, oh, there's a fearful thought. And then when you recognize that you're not actually your mind, that's a huge one for people. If
Mm-hmm.
you're identified with your mind and you're feeding those loops of fear, oh my goodness, that could be exhausting for somebody who's mentally heavy. And so I like to say that like fear is going to be a really great polarizing teacher for
Mm-hmm.
you. And when you feed faith, it's an amplifier. And when you're in the frequency of faith, you're already good. So now
Yeah,
all that goodness is amplified, your path is cleared. And then when you fall back into faith or into fear, you have now polarity teacher again.
correct.
So like
Correct.
if people understood that too, like, oh, I'm gonna, oscillate in polarity, or I'm gonna be like amplifying my energy and getting all the things that I desire out of life. Like how much time do you want to spend in the contraction phase,
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
you get to choose that
Agreed. Agreed. Wow. I could talk to you all day, every day, man.
all
This
day.
is insane. I just want to like thank you again
Oh, thank
for
you so
like
much.
allowing this space to happen. I mean, I've been so excited. Like as soon as I started this podcast and like thought about, talking to people every few episodes, like as soon as I thought about like the feminine and the female side of things, I was like, oh dude, I can't wait to talk to Sierra. It's gonna be nuts.
Oh my God.
And so thank you. I
Thank
appreciate you.
you.
And let's do this again soon.
Please, please, please.
All right. Cool.